So this is our chance to create a better example maybe for them too. And again, saying them like Salima, like you said, like check yourself every time. So these type of dialogue effects right away. I'm checking myself. Am I actually doing the same by using the word them? So we are going to go to the second question about the personal and community impact. So same talking about lateral racism. How does this lateral racism affect people's emotions and relationships within community?
Within community, I think there's a very strong stereotyping that exists in our community, and I'm very much part of that, I would say, because I've had friends, I've had experiences where I would be scared of dealing with people of my own community in a business, and I'd choose somebody I don't know. So that's stereotyping, one, and it can't be stopped by one person. It has to come from everywhere. It has to be a group effort to sort of get rid of that stereotyping. To come back to your question, how does it affect your emotion? I think it affects your emotion anytime you're judged. So as an individual or as a community, when we are judged, it is bound to affect our emotion. I also want to point out here, somebody said that people should mingle outside their own cultures, outside their own communities. I am all for it. I feel like, why have I come here if I have to mingle amongst the same people, right? I want to know about the world, I want to know about other communities, but please remember, sometimes mingling amongst your own community also comes from a place of safety.
Yes.
You want to feel safe, you want to feel accepted. And not everybody has the upbringing or the strength or the confidence to be able to be themselves without fearing judgment from the other. So I think that is the answer to your question. How it affects your emotion is, the more this is going to exist, the more we are going to narrow our groups. It just works, it has to work inward out, but it's a very tricky business. The more we confine, the more we bifurcate, the smaller as groups we are going to become. Because that safe space is not going to exist. And the more we get rid of this stereotyping, as much as effort it may take, as much as we teach our children, our environment, we have to look for people who have the same wavelength rather than same skin color. I always invite friends, I always try to meet people who operate at a wavelength that I can adjust to, or find people who have probably the similar hobbies, similar conversations, because I want to have friends everywhere. Rather than confining myself to one group, whether that's just the one color or the other, preferring one color over the other. I think that's important to understand.
Yeah. So I think we get more and more afraid rather than being more
courageous. It's not getting worse.
Sure, of course. And I would like to take your input. What kind of emotion you think stirs up in such scenario?
First, about impact on community. The impact on community is going to be the growth of the same situation. If I have situations where I am being judged by my own community, it's only going to increase lateral racism. I'm going to be a part of lateral racism because I've had experiences that made me think that resonated with me, and I'm like, that created a belief. So impact on the community is going to be growth of this that we're trying to get rid of. In terms of emotion, the emotion, I'll come back to Sundra's point, the emotion is going to be fear. The emotion is going to be not being able to express yourself. The emotion is going to be, and when you're fearful, when you're not being able to express yourself, you are not going to get the best potential out of yourself. And what is that going to bring? Failure. So that's probably my input to that.
What do you think of it?
Basically, racism starts from our home. Like we can say, if the treatment for everyone will be equal, there should be, like we can say, there will be no discrimination, nothing like racism. Because here in Canada, I know a family, like Indian ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we are like,
Yeah, we do have some exposure.
yeah.
I am an Indian lady myself also. So go ahead.